Coming to you live at 5 together with the Twitch chat right over here to show you something new again, ladies and gentlemen. What you are looking at right now is a brand new gun mechanic, what Wargaming is thinking about bringing into the game. And with the Twitch chat we were thinking about how many gun systems do we have in the game already. And we have the standard. We have autoloaders, auto reloaders, reverse auto reloader, yes, double barrels, you know, like the 703 and TS54 for example, then the Polish TDs, auto cannons, then the cooling mechanic, siege mode. If we go on siege mode as well, we have so many different firing modes in this game. And Wargaming with this FV226 Contradictious, that has very contradictious name and gun system over here, actually introduces yet another new gun mechanic. And you may look at this at first, you know, thinking about, you know, double barrel tank, how different can they make it? And guys, just let me tell you, it is, how to say, to be cautious over here, it is interesting to say the least. Contradictious with brand new double barrel mechanic. So let's take a look at it, and I try to explain it to you guys as good as I can and as much as we understood about this together with the stream, how this new mechanic is going to look like. So you want to hear it actually, because it is weird and kinda ridiculous. The FV226 Contradictious, a British Tier 8 premium heavy tank, is a twin-barreled vehicle with a brand new shooting mechanic different from those employed on the Soviet double-barreled heavies and the DS-54. Unlike the Soviet and US counterparts, British twin-barreled heavies have two firing modes: single fire and salvo fire. You know, with the 703 version 2, you have basically, you don't have to do anything, you don't have to switch your firing mode. If you want to shoot double shot, you just hold down the binded key and it fires two shells at once after some preparation time. But over here with this vehicle you have two different modes actually. You can switch between these modes anytime by pressing X for the FV226 Contradictious. This takes 2 seconds, but you don't have to stop, you don't have to do anything. Switching between firing modes neither resets nor pauses gun reloading and can be done on the move. So this is, you know, difference between CS63 switching modes or STRVs switching to firing mode as well in the siege mode. So this is a more convenient way to switch mode, let's say. Now, when it comes to the single fire mode, guys, this basically is a single firing tank or a single gun tank, just has two barrels. All this over here, by the way, is official statement from Wargaming when they released first details about this tank. When the guns are in single fire mode, they shoot alternately. So basically one by one, starting with the left gun. In this mode you can shoot a gun only after the other has fully reloaded. So this basically makes it a single shot tank, just the only difference is that your aiming circle is moving from left to right, from right to left. The aiming reticle is always aligned with the barrel that is next to shoot. In single fire mode, the gunplay is much like that of the British single-barreled heavies line. Stabilization, accuracy and aiming time are all very good. But now, let's talk about the big elephant in the room. In salvo fire mode, you can shoot both barrels simultaneously with a simple left click. You do not have to charge up your shot. You do not need any time to repair your salvo like you have to do in 703 for example. That takes 3 seconds to prepare and then your shells fly away. Also, the aiming reticle transforms in this firing mode into an oval-like zone inside of which your rounds will hit. The center of this aiming zone is aligned with the line that runs between the barrels. Your rounds will land to the left and to the right of the center of the aiming zone. In salvo fire mode, the tank stop speed and turret error speed are decreased. Guns take longer to fully aim and accuracy is lower. We're going to take a look at that in a second. than in the single fire mode, but the stabilization of the guns improves drastically. The one-time damage is obviously doubled and the DPM stays the same, because if you want to use or if you want to fire your guns in this mode, you have to wait double the reload time. You have to wait until both guns are done loading. The reload time in salvo fire mode is always twice the reloading time than in the single fire mode. This is what they say. If you shoot the salvo, you must wait double the time, of course, as you know, it just takes more time. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about this over here. The aiming reticle transforms in this firing mode into an oval-like zone inside of which your rounds will hit. The center of this aiming zone is aligned with the line that runs between the barrels. So, for that, let's take our trusty paint out once again. Now, when your normal aiming circle looks like this, right? When it looks like this, then in this vehicle, they said oval-like, and because you have guns side by side, most likely it is going to look something like this. You know, something like this. Oval-like, aiming circle, and while, let's take this tool over here, and while in the standard vehicle or in 703, or when you're using this tank as well, in a single fire mode, this is your aiming circle where the crosshair is in the middle. Well, this is not in the middle, but you know, you get the point, right? Somewhere in the middle over there. And your shell, which you shoot, goes, you know, somewhere over here. This is being the center point, of course. Then, while you are in the salvo firing mode, your aiming circle, your aiming reticle is still in the middle, but your shells can fly on the left side anywhere over here, and on the right side anywhere over here. So this basically is how we understood it. You have to count that in. For example, when you fire in 703 version 2, the double shot, that the shells stay next to each other all the time. Yes, they can go a little bit to the left, top right, middle, bottom, you know, down. They can go wherever they want to go, right? But they always stay next to each other like this, you know? Missing here, but they stay next to each other. But as far as I understand, it could be wrong, I could be wrong. And then with this special feature, one shell could go there while the other shot could go there, for example. Or, you know, if they stay together, then the spread is a little bit bigger, right? And this is what you need to take into account, especially when you are shooting at tracks. For example, let's draw tracks over here. Let's say this is a tank that has beautiful tracks, wheels over here. You know, welcome to the Dezrng design school, tank design school. Not looking bad, actually. Not looking bad. So if you come in and if you start shooting with this double shot, for example, usually you would aim somewhere over there with a single shotgun, but now you have to calculate that if you aim over here, one of your shells could go here and one of your shells could go there, you know, without dealing any damage. So that means you just need to aim more towards the left side to hit both shots and to deal damage with both shots, right? Looks like a cassette player, says the chat. Well, those are tank tracks. What do you mean? What do you mean? What kind of cassette player? So this is how much we understood how this firing mode is going to work like, and how this is this should look like, at least. At the beginning of the battle, when you change the shell type, you also need to wait for both barrels to load. So this is the trick over here. Finally, the guns of the British twin-barreled heavies have awesome-looking caps on their muzzle brakes, covering the barrel that cannot currently be fired. So, covering the gun that cannot currently fire. Both your opponents and your allies will know exactly when you enter the salvo mode, because, finally, let's take a look at the details, of course. And those are the gaps they were talking about. So, if both gaps are open, that means you're in the salvo firing mode. And enemy can see that, your allies can see that, all can see that. And when you are in a single firing mode, then the gun that is not able to fire, those flaps or those covers will go on, and you will see exactly in which mode you are in. So we have firepower over here, 360 alpha, so that makes your alpha damage 720 in the salvo mode, and as we just learned, you can only fire one or a double shot when you are in the salvo mode. 440 with high explosive, armor penetration, 218 millimeters of penetration with, we have AP round over here, and 250 with APCR, 53 with high explosive. Shell velocity 1000, 1250, and 900. Reload time 11 seconds. So that means your reload time in the salvo mode is going to be double than that, or double that, 22 seconds base. Aiming time 1.8 seconds, dispersion 0.33, which is very good, very good for a heavy tank. Elevation angles 10 degrees of contemplation, 15 degrees of elevation, 80 shells, plenty of shells to spam around. Mobility 36 top speed, 12 moving backwards, not the fastest tank, 15 power to weight ratio as well, 25 hull rotation, 30 turret rotation. So clutch braking skill definitely needed, I would say. Survivability 1500 hit points, and this bad boy actually has some armor, guys. Frontally this bad boy has some armor, and we're able to take a look at the 3D model as well. 150 in the front of the hull, for example, 70 on the sides, 370 view range, that kind of sucks. It has 5 crew members, 2 loaders actually, not what you normally get on British heavies. You have commander, driver, gunner, and 2 loaders. 2 guns, 2 loaders. So, now let's take a look at the special features, special stats, what they said, right? So, this is the vehicle in the standard shooting mode, and I think this is just placeholder numbers over here. When I click the siege mode, when I go into the salvo mode, take a look at the dispersion, guys. Take a look at the dispersion. Now, if that would be actually the final dispersion of this salvo mode, I don't think I would ever play this tank. Because how do you justify this? So, with 100% crew, no skills, nothing else, no equipment, you have 10.55 second reload time. So let's say you have 21 second reload time without any skills and equipment, whatever, to deal 720 alpha damage. It is simply not worth it. And if you are able to deal that damage anyway with 1.15 dispersion and with this absolutely atrocious aiming time, but your stabilization basically is non-existent. You have no stabilization, like issues. 0.01, right? 0.01 over here. And they said you lose the mobility, so from 36 down to 20, and wait. This camo has to be wrong. This camo has to be wrong. So don't look at all those details over here. Many of those can be placeholders, and I believe this dispersion is a placeholder as well. Okay, some post editing over here, as someone said that this dispersion only could make sense if, you know, it has 2 different aiming circles inside this one oval circle, and you know, if it takes the dispersion as everything combined, you know, it takes the left gun dispersion, adds the right gun dispersion, and overall the oval dispersion as well. And this is the only explanation, like, when this ridiculous 1.15 could be correct and would make sense, because, you know, actually your dispersion per gun is a little bit better. And also where this double barrel could be useful is, you know, if you are fully loaded and you can switch the mode in 2 seconds and quickly peek and boom, take a shot behind the cover, behind the corner, for example, surprise enemies with a 720 hit in the face, for example. You know, this is what we discussed further about this gun system. Everything is still subject to change, ladies and gentlemen. And when we talked about the armor values are over here exactly like they were on the paper, and you can see versus 218 millimeters of penetration, for example, and when it is hull down, this tank, holy shite, this tank packs some armor for sure. Talking about some hull down capabilities over here, guys. Talking about some hull down capabilities. Now, if you aim down too much, you will reveal your commander head. So this is going to be one of those tanks you need to, like, you know, wiggle, move around with the turret, or simply keep it like this when you're looking hull down. Because if you're looking too much up, they can start hitting that area over there. Right, as you can see, you know, no problems, no armor whatsoever. And if you're aiming down too much, then, or if you keep aiming down for too long and too much, you are going to reveal your turret over there. But talking about the armor, this is actually quite ridiculous, like 250 penetration. And let's say if we compare that to hull down tier 10 fighter, let's take Super Gong, right? Let's take Super Gong pen values. So Super Gong with standard round is not able to do anything to you. As you can see, 300. So this is a little bit of a big question mark. But, you know, loading in some more penetration, loading in the APCR, you start seeing some green. But this is versus a tier 10 tank. Even that little thing over here is not the weak spot. Well, it is kind of a weak spot compared to most of the armor over here, but still nothing crazy, right? So only like tier 10 Brimo rounds are able to penetrate this. So, yeah. FV226 Contradictious. Quite a contradictious stats over here. As I said, placeholder numbers. I would say 0.42, 0.45 with some extra aiming time added as well in the salvo mode. Please say, what do you think about this firing mode? What do you think about this type of double barrel gun mechanic overall? And do you see any advantages this tank has over the standard double barrel tanks like the 703 we have over here? Because where the comfortability with this tank comes in is you have the option to shoot before your second gun is loaded. You don't have to wait all the time, you know? If you fire, you have 11-second reload time, right? But after 5 seconds, you have the decision to either fire again or to wait for the second gun to load in. And then you have that preparation time to fire 2 shells and deal 780 damage, for example. But of course, gun handling is not the greatest, but it still works on this thing. So yeah, I would like to hear what are your thoughts about that. Let me know in the comment section. That is it from us. Have a good one and take care.